Welcome to our barn, where we're smoking premium cigars, living the country life, and equipping ourselves with the tools necessary to stand up to the pressures of compromise and tolerance. This is Cigars in the Barn.
So today we're smoking the Virtue by Man of War. It's an AJ Fernandez blend. And this one is a Connecticut wrapper. It's an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. The binder and filler are both Nicaraguan. It was manufactured in his factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. It's a 6.5 inch by 52 ring gauge torpedo.
Now that we've taken the cellophane off the cigars, we'll do a pre-inspection. It's got a very good earthy set of tones. Chip mentioned earlier, very barnyard-like.
For me, this is very stereotypical when you think of a barnyard smell. Very hay-like, but it does have that earthy undertones as well. The wrapper itself, there's no large veins.
Nope.
Construction looks really good in there.
I have a little crack. I don't know if it's just the construction or something that will be a problem. Right in the center, right about the beginning of the 2/3. So I'm a little worried about that, but that could be anything.
Well, we'll see if it causes any problems. Mine looks okay so far. I don't see any cracking. Yeah, let's get them cut. Do a cold draw. It's very hay-like in the cold draw, but there is a little bit of earth, a little bit. Mostly bright flavors, hay, maybe a little nuttiness.
Yeah, I got a little hint of nut. The appearance itself looks really good. Tight wrap.
The pack is fine.
That looks great.
It seems firm. No soft spots.
No, none whatsoever.
All right, let's get them lit. Smoke's not super thick.
No, it's not.
It's a little thin. It's not leaving that oiliness in your mouth. It's not coating your mouth. It's creamy in a little bit of its texture, but I think it's a little too thin to give it that full creaminess. Super nutty. Almond.
Yeah.
It's very almond-like. It's a little bit brighter. It's not as rich like a cashew flavor is. It's more of a brighter almond flavor. Lots of grassy tones. Grassy, not getting a whole lot of that earth that I was going to expect a little bit, but we'll see what happens. The draw is great.
Very smooth draw.
The draw is great. I mean, I love torpedoes for that reason because we can kind of regulate that a little bit more ourselves. But the draw itself is great. The pack is great. No complaints on construction thus far.
Yeah, and the initial aroma of that smoke is very, very nice. Very
it's almost,
light.
It's just a very light smoke smell. But the smoke is still thin.
Yeah, this will definitely be a cigar my wife will say smells good when I get home.
Well, we'll get into this first third. We'll catch back up with you at the transition to the second third.
I'm actually enjoying the nuttiness of this.
Yeah, it's super nutty. Like I said, but it's not a rich nut. It's like like an almond almost.
It's very subtle.
Yeah,
just subtle.
And I mean, it's a solid medium body. I mean, enough good flavors coming out of it for sure.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting getting to that second third if it gets a little stronger.
Yeah, I want to see the transition. Like I said, it's all full of Nicaraguan tobacco, so I would expect some spices. I'd expect some earthiness. I'm not getting a ton of earthiness, but that nuttiness is really interesting. And so far, my burn is doing just fine, but it's so densely packed. It's no flowering at all.
No, none whatsoever.
It's almost shrinking. It's beautiful. It's well made.
Really
well made.
Yep. Yeah, there's hardly any flaking at all. The burn is pretty spot on.
I am getting a pepper wash though in the back of my throat.
Yeah, there's a little bit
of that black pepper,
spicy, which is a good contrast to that nuttiness, that almond taste, and then you get that little hint of that black pepper. Keeps you coming back for another draw.
It's kind of keeping it. It's brightly flavored, but it's not necessarily sweet. It brings you back to earthy tones.
Yes,
it's bringing you back.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the way that works there. Smoke's still thin, and that's okay. I'm not going to expect huge creamy smoke out of this. It smoke's a little dry.
Yeah,
and a little thin, but the flavors are there.
And sometimes you want a lot of smoke, but there might be areas where you're like, I really don't want to put a lot of smoke out. It's a good in between.
Yeah,
there's enough, but not over the top.
Yeah, you're getting flavors, but you can still see. I'm not getting tons of smoke off the foot like I was that other one as well.
The draw is very good draw though.
Yeah, very good construction.
Yeah, I really like the aroma of the smoke. A little sweet enough to where you're. I would ask, what are you smoking?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not, it's not mild. It's medium.
Yeah.
And I'm getting almost a medium strength out of it too, which I would expect being that it's Nicaraguan.
Right, exactly.
So it's going to be a little bit more heavy on the nicotine, but I don't know. It's a good midday smoke. I have no complaints.
Yeah, that's. I think that you hit the nail on the head right there. It's a good midday smoke. It's a good relaxation smoke. Day's not over yet. Get me through the hump portion of the day, and I can get on with the rest of my business the rest of the day.
I wouldn't want to smoke this with some bourbon, whiskey. I wouldn't want that. I smoke this with iced tea or like coffee in the middle of the day.
You know, this would be a good coffee smoke.
It'd be a good coffee smoke, a good iced tea smoke, you know, maybe a Coke.
I'm starting to feel it a little bit, which is good. Not heavy, but just a little.
Okay, so we're about 25 minutes in right now. About a, inch and a half down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
about an inch and a half. Burn has been just fine. Matt's burn has been better than mine. Mine was probably due to a lighting issue. Flavors haven't changed quite yet. Still, the smoke is still light. The pack is very good. The draw is still very good. No complaints from me.
Yeah, I'm not complaining at all. My burn has been pretty even. The few moments of maybe a little slight canoeing here and there, but it caught right up. I'm still about an inch or so of ash. Good easy draw still. Flavors are still consistent.
So right now we are in the second third. We're getting a lot of the same flavors, or at least I'm getting a lot of the same flavors. The nuttiness is subsided just a little bit, and I'm getting a lot more of that pepper, that black pepper wash over my mouth. The strength is a solid medium right now for me.
Yes, completely agree. A good medium strength. I don't see any deviation from the flavors. Burn is still very consistent.
It is starting to heat up just a little bit, whereas before it was very, very cool for a lot of that burn zone. For me, it's about 3/4 of an inch now. It was about a half an inch. It's not going to cause any problems right now. It's going to start causing problems towards that last third.
Yep.
It's a relatively fast burner. You would expect a 6.5 inch cigar to give you a good hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours, depending on how well the pack is and all that stuff as well. But we're about 35 minutes in. We're about just to that second third. So yeah, we're going to get about an hour 15 or so, depending on how hot it gets towards the end in that last third. But overall, flavors are still the same. We're still getting a lot of that black pepper. I am getting a lot of that black pepper. Still some nuttiness, but it's the earthiness. The black pepper, not earthiness, but the black pepper is starting to more take the front, in my opinion.
Yeah, that draw I just had now was more black pepper than it was the almond type flavor.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, the smoke has picked up a little bit. It's not as light. The draw is still perfect, in my opinion. So far, it's been performing well. The burn's not beautiful. It's a little wavy. Mine's worse than yours is. But it's not causing any problems.
No.
So, whatever. This is not going to be the type that you smoke all the way to the nub.
No.
It's just going to get too hot. We're going to take it to right about the band. My ash fell off again, which it fell off around the same point anyway. I'm getting about 3/4 of an inch on my ash. You got up to about an inch and a half. Yeah, so just getting lots of black pepper.
Yep. That's
lots of pepper and some woodiness.
Yep.
So it did transition a little bit. That nuttiness is still there, but it's not as pronounced. A lot more like a burnt oak, and we're about halfway through that second third, and that's when I'm starting to pick up some of those. And that strength is still sitting around that medium.
Yeah. Yep.
So we are at the 1 hour mark. So far, just a mild transition from the first third into the second third. The first third had a lot of that nuttiness, almost that almond flavor, and a little bit of the black pepper. It changed a little bit. The nuttiness went down a little bit. The black pepper really started coming up to the top. And then towards that, we're getting into that last third right now. And towards that, I'm getting a little bit of that burnt woodiness, that burnt oak flavor. It's not a harsh oak flavor. It's just woody.
It's not overpowering.
We're still going to agree that it's a medium body and a medium strength. Yeah, the draw for me, it's been fluctuating a little bit. I haven't had to do anything more. I haven't had to recut it or anything like that. But just rolling it a little bit in my fingers helps open it up a little bit on those tighter draws. It's still a good draw. It's not loose at all. It's pretty firm. Yeah, that smoke is still very appealing.
It's a very just, you go to places and you're looking around like, who's got that cigar? That's just a really good cigar. It's a head turner just because it's got just a good aroma. Just makes you feel like I want to smoke that.
Yeah,
I want to know what that is so I can smoke it.
Yeah, right now we're at the hour and 10 minute mark, and mine is really softening up, and I still have about 2.5 inches left, and it's really starting to soften up. So I'm assuming that we're going to be ending this really soon.
Yeah, because I'm getting that just a very burnt taste, starting to get a burnt taste, I should say. Woodsy, there's not a whole lot of flavor. No,
it's starting to get to that point where we know it's going to be done. So yeah, you're right, about an hour and 15 minutes.
It's kind of what we expected. Yeah, I think I'm getting to the point where I don't want to ruin the rest of it or what I've smoked and enjoyed. Overall for me, a good premium cigar, a good burn for me. The ash was great. The body was medium. Had good flavor, consistent flavor in the sense of hints of almond, had that woodsy, slight earthy tone to it. It got a little hot at times, but it kind of evened itself out after I got in that second third or middle of the second third. It got a lot cooler, and then right when we got to the final third, it got hotter, a little more burnt, which is obviously where we ended. But overall, good experience.
Yeah, and for me, when you look at cigars of this nature where they're more mild, medium body cigars, you're looking for stuff, they're going to give you certain flavor profiles. I do like that this flavor profile was different than what you would normally expect from a cigar like this. Obviously, that pays tribute to the Nicaraguan tobacco inside of there. It gave us a little bit of that earthiness, lots of black pepper, not a whole lot of transitions, which is totally fine. The transitions that we did have, that first third was really nutty, bright flavors, hay-like, barnyard. Then it transitioned, that black pepper really started to take over. And then that last third, or between that second and last third, we had that woodsiness, that burnt oak flavor, which wasn't a bad, harsh burnt oak, is actually a good burnt oak flavor. And then it just started getting soft and harsh, and we decided that was the way it was going to end before we tried to smoke through that and ruin it. So we still got an hour and 10 minutes out of it. If you're looking for a cigar that's going to give you a slight nicotine buzz, thoroughly pleased with it, check out the review that we have written up there, and check out the Instagram as well. It'll be on there too.